No choice. You couldn't let anything get out about the protocol murders? Fuck.
Oh, boy, I got your ass.
Alright, guys. So the theme was just announced about 2 minutes ago. Close. This is what I'm thinking. I really want to continue with the Troika series, and I think I have a great story in mind. But we're going to do something that we did in fact, and I think it worked really well. I'm only going to film on this for the most part. There's going to be parts of it that I just need to have a bigger setup, but I need to fill out the black here, because this is actually going to be an interior shot, but I'm going to operate essentially on the same rules as we did in THAC. And I don't know how I'm going to do this because I have a day job, so I'm going to be working on this all throughout the weekend and right after work pretty much every single day. And what I think I'm actually going to do, or how I've been thinking about it this year, is every day is just a THAC. That is it. Every day is just a THAC, and I have to complete it every day, and we'll get it done. So I'm excited to start this. I have an idea for how the story will work. Close is perfect-ish. I can do what I want to and tweak a few things, but let's jump in.
So when I was thinking about the characters for this film, I took a lot of inspiration from shows I liked, in real life. So Allison's character is basically based off of Maggie Bell from the CBS show FBI, and subsequently her husband, I think his name is Jason in the actual show, that is Jack's character. But I didn't really have a ton of material for Jack, so that was kind of my own interpretation of what a journalist would be. But a lot of inspiration for Allison came from Maggie Bell. I think she's a great character. Something that Maggie wouldn't do in the actual FBI show is, take revenge, and actually follow through. She might get mad, she might get close, but she doesn't actually go full tilt. So I was like, well, what if this time she went full tilt? And that's where I got the idea. So really great show if you haven't seen it. That is basically most of where Allison came from. The part of her that throws Eric's wife out the window is more based off of Nikita's character in said show, Nikita. But I didn't like the entire vibe of that character. I felt like Maggie's character was more of what the vibe was for the film, and I wanted to focus more on just the crime and the aftermath of how that changes Allison. So there's that. And then for Eric, he is based off of kind of the Smallville interpretation of Lex Luthor, and similarly that's kind of how I designed his office. But yeah, Lex Luthor from Smallville, maybe a little mix of Lionel in there. That is the inspiration there. And then for Miss Swan is literally just Madeline Swan from the Daniel Craig James Bond films. That's pretty much it. That is that. Those are really the characters. Jack, Miss Swan, who didn't have a ton of lines. I thought it would have had more, but and then Allison. So Jack, Allison, and Eric, main characters here. But yeah, that's the inspiration I got for my own characters in the film.
it's starting. For those of you who might be new to my channel and don't know how I like to do these types of things, the first shot, the inaugural shot of any film for a contest, you set it up right, you're pretty much good to go the rest of the way. At least it helps. So I'm working on a shot setup, and I've never, did I say that? Shot setup. My God. I haven't done something like this before, but I think I have a good handle on it. This is really empty. That's fine. These are just test image time. So this is what I've got going on. Only building what the camera basically can see. This is a pretty wide shot, so I've got to fill this in with things. Back here, very light on the foliage because it's kind of the backyard, and they're slightly elevated, so none of this matters. Typical sunset setup. I love this essentially jerry-rigged forlorn creature idea that he did in Minecraft Creepers, which I think I mention every time I work on anything. But give me 1 second here. But I love that setup. So I needed to make this wall pretty big because I didn't want any light spillover. But this is essentially what I'm working with. Behind the camera, that's the shot. But you don't see the base plate in the camera. So if I take you over to live view here, this is what this is shaping up to be. I'll go over to test images here. I was just testing out different lighting for this. This is how it originally started. I knew I wanted a sunset happening at dusk, so I was just messing around with various things. And we finally got here. This is like a living room setup in the backyard, so I need to fill in pretty much everything for that. So we are going to continue with that. I don't know how many times I want to make sure you think about this, guys, whenever you're making your entries, is really only make what the camera's gonna see. So look at this. This is the shot. Just have the, well, this has to actually close. This is nothing. Like, this is pretty lax. The rest of it, from what you saw earlier, that's all right here. But I needed to punch in better, so I broke it down a little bit and created this. This does not look like anything at all, but if we take it over to the live view, you get this. All right, like it build what the camera can see, nothing else matters, and you get some really nice shots. Mod element there for you judges, right there. So only build what the camera can see. This is about to be the most ambitious thing I've done in a long time, so hopefully it works. If not, I've set it up so the ending works fine. I want her to get thrown out this window. All practical effects, all in stop motion, and this is how I'm gonna attempt to do this. So, got the regular glass panes here, and then when it breaks, when it shatters, gonna swap it out for both of these, because these will match the tops of this. And then I have like extra little things here that I'm gonna put in randomly. I'm gonna try to get a nice like her flying through the glass type thing. This is gonna be hard. You ever get into one of those moments where you semi-enter flow state when it comes to animating, and then you realize the entire evening's gone and you're like, oh, I'll just, be wrapping up here in an hour when you don't even know what time it is? That's just what happened to me. So I think we've done a pretty good job of basically being on schedule. Like, that's really the only thing that matters. I can always go back and reshoot, but I need to be on schedule. So as long as that's the case, then we're good. And unironically, guys, I picked up this, I think it's called the electric EV supercar or whatever. Picked that up at Walmart today, and it just happened to fit the theme. So this car is probably going to be used a lot just for the mod element's sake. This in the ending scene is absolutely abysmal. Come on, focus. Do I have this on lock or something? Oh, it's on the lock. Anyway, that's kind of a nightmare. So I'm gonna have to send them so many images of where it is in the shot, because you literally can't see it at the end. So there's, a slight chance it gets disqualified, but I don't care. All about the story. But moving right along here, though, I don't know if any of you do what I do a little bit and just kind of do a little bit of like post-production, kind of, but not actually. I like to get mashups, as I call them, of the various scenes that I've already done, like just to kind of get like,
Who are you?
like just to get an idea of how everything is flowing together. And it's been good. 2 scenes down in one day, basically, of animation, and that basically leaves me with 3 more scenes. Like, I gotta do the beginning between Jack and Allison, and then I gotta do the meetup of the Source and Jack, and I gotta do the Troika satellite office scene, and then and then we're done. Like we're done shooting. And then I kind of have like a montage shot that I have to kind of do afterwards. But outside of that, I think we can get filming wrapped by late Wednesday or like late Thursday. And then spend Friday, Saturday in post. That's the plan. 48 hours of post. I think we'll do wonders here. So yeah. If you have time in your entry to level up your set design, I would definitely do it. So, pretty simple set. Light shining through here. This is not the sun. I just wanted a cool light coming through. This would be like an inside. This would be like an inside thing if I have to do something to make it look a little more realistic. But pretty small set. But look at this shot. Look at this shot. Man, yeah. So, but I want to explain a little bit. Actually, I'm going to do this in post. Never mind.
One of the things that I try to really think about when I am doing any of these contests, whether it's Brawl, especially THAC, because you have a lot less time, is how can I build the simplest set that communicates the most depth without sacrificing, like, I guess was something I would call cinematic fidelity, right? Because Recompense does not work as a film if it's not built well. And at the same time, the biggest Achilles heel, I think, for a lot of people who do these contests is they overbuild and they spend a lot of time on set design. And that's good, but on time contests, it can really set you back. So basically what I do, and I'll show you here, like a lot of these transition shots, a lot of the parts of Eric's house in the interior, even Allison's place, they're all extremely basic sets. Some I just put a camera into a modular building and made that part of the house. Like, I think it's more about using what's available to you and not worrying about building a big set. You've probably heard me say this already in the actual BTS, but you only need to build what the camera is going to see. And even if you have to change the camera angle, you can just build the set again in a different angle that still conveys the same level of depth and the same just level of, again, cinematic fidelity. I'm gonna call it that from now on. And you don't lose time tearing down the sets. Making pre-built walls that you can just move around at will is probably something that is going to save you the most time when you have a pretty big shot list or a scene list. Like, technically, Recompense is only 5 scenes originally. It was, scenes 1 through 5, and then the flashback scene was like scene 4.5. Like, to me, it wasn't a full scene.
So I just wanted to show you the power of Brick Stuff Light's perspective and what you can do with very little. So this is a running theme in what I've been talking about in these clips, is that you don't need to build that much. This is not an overbuild, believe it or not, because this is a long shot of one of the main characters getting info, and it's in an alleyway. So this is not overbuilt. So I needed something to lighten up the informant. So we have the blue Brick Stuff Light kind of casting a little like a blue hue in the background that lights him. Then I have this green Brick Stuff Light to essentially light the background with this red brick, a little duller, but up here. And that lights main character 2. And then in the back, I attached one singular light to the car because I want to try to have the car drive in the background. But look at this in Dragon Frame in the test image. Look at this. Like this is good. This is good stuff. And he's gonna be walking towards him. Look how clear that is. Like, you don't have to do that much. These are all the various test images I've done, just setting it up. But like, you can make stuff work in this really well. So just something to consider when you're animating stuff like this, because, well, this is the light setup. It's a little janky, for sure. They're kind of going all over the place, but this is the back. But all right, guys, I gotta be quiet. The wife is asleep, but we have finished. Ooh, and just in time. Look at that. We have finished scene 3, which is the source. I think that's how I wrote it. Yeah, scene 3. So far, here's what we have. The ending is done. And this is shot. That's pretty much it. 2 scenes, and it's only Monday night. So Tuesday, we got to do Troika employee scene, and then we'll probably spend Wednesday on the opening shot in the restaurant or wherever I just had that the Jack and Allison are going to be, and then we'll do the montage on Thursday and spend Friday, Saturday working on post-production. So I usually can move pretty fast when I'm in a groove, and so far, like, I'll just show you, because I was kind of doing a little bit of like a mashup to see how things worked. Look at this. Look at it. This is just really fast, but anyway, see you tomorrow. Happy July 1st, everyone. We are flying through, wrapping up the filming for this brick film. I still have not decided on the name. I have a list. It's definitely just going to be like a Troika series. Like, it's part of that. So, messing around with something like, Troika Vengeance, Troika Retribution, or just like straight up Retribution, because this is basically just a revenge story of broken hearts and things, the really fun stuff that we as animators love to do, especially in a Lego form. But we are moving crazily fast here. But just I want you to see this. Like, can I not do grief in better lighting? I probably could, but I'm sticking with this. I like it a lot.
So the scenes are very much my own, but what I wanted to try to emulate the best I could to convey some of the emotion and the deeper sense of the various scenes. I basically, if you look at the last scene where Eric is talking to Allison in his house, I really wanted to pay homage to the Dark Knight and how Harvey is talking to Batman and basically just saying this is not about what I want, it's about what's fair. And that was a really powerful scene. I remember seeing that when it came out and just really being like, wow, okay, like the world is not a fair place, bad things happen to good people and all of that. And I wanted to convey that in the conversation between Allison and Eric.
They don't know who or what. They're just creating a perimeter.
You think I want to escape from this? There is no escape from this. You don't want to hurt the boy, Harvey. It's not about what I want. It's about what's fair!
Even though it's a different ending and a different premise, but that was where I got the idea to kind of have that back and forth. And as far as any scene alterations, it's kind of a mix between the actual Dark Knight scene and then just the vibe of the fight in Skyfall. So I thought if I could marry the two somehow, kind of have something like this dark evening shot, basically sunset, and yeah, that's where I got the idea for that particular part. And as far as the crime scene and the assassination prior, I feel like you can kind of get your own versions of those in any cop show or cop movie or something that follows like a detective, which is kind of the vibe I wanted to go for. But obviously Allison is not a detective, but she spends some time trying to figure out, who Troika is, who ordered the hit on Jack, and how that again, changed her. I think maybe the best way I can describe the scene from that part of the film. There's a show, I think it's on Netflix. It's called The Killing. Very dark cop investigation, crazy stuff. But that was a vibe that I was trying to go for. I'm gonna overuse the word vibes. I'm sorry. And then I really liked. And this is probably one of, if not my favorite scene in the entire film. It's both of the scenes done in Eric's office, and the idea for the office came again from Smallville. I couldn't find the scene, but it was burned into my head. It was like Lex looking out of his window in his mansion, and you just see the warm light coming in and nothing else. And so that kind of gave me the idea for the ambience, whatever, of the room, and the echo of the footsteps, the waterfall, or the fountain in the beginning. I took a lot of inspiration from that. I think it looks really nice, and huge shout out to Justin and Jordan for making that scene come alive, and they did a really good job. But it probably is one of my favorite shots, I think, that I've done in probably 6 or 7 years. I just think the lighting was pretty good. The angles, I really enjoyed it. And again, Justin did a phenomenal job portraying Eric, and we'll get to that in the audio portion of this stuff later, but same for Jordan. And the opening restaurant scene, I just needed to put together. I didn't want to use brown bricks. I was really annoyed that I ended up having to do that. I was hoping to get more like maybe like a deeper blue or something else just to break it up a little bit with the hair of Jack and things, but I didn't have time to find enough bricks, and I didn't want to lose any time, but you know how the beginnings of some movies go, where it starts out in a diner or something and they're having a conversation, and the way that I shot one of Allison's, and I think Jack has it in there as well, where they're kind of towards the complete right side or left side respectively of the frame, and you kind of just have that big open space of the rest of the restaurant or whatever setting that's in. I really like those shots, and I want to do more of them. I know it sometimes can look empty, but I think it fits with the overall environment and atmosphere of the film. So I was really happy with how that turned out, and I didn't have to reshoot that many shots of that. That was one of the later parts of filming. So I think that was shot on Wednesday. I think that was all shot on Wednesday. Was that July 1st? Yeah, I think so. But yeah, and then the flashback scene towards the end is probably my second favorite. That was all done like first take. I didn't have to do any changes. And what I really wanted to do was add another shot of Allison like laying on the bed, kind of just staring up into the sky. And there was there'd be like a fan in the front, but it would be blurred out. So you'd be looking, through the fan and down like onto her. And I was like, do I have time? I probably, now looking back, had time to do it, but the whole film was so dark in terms of like the mod element and making sure it was in frame and visible. And I was taking so many shots to prove that the mod element was there. I didn't want to take more time. I thought I wouldn't have enough time to put together, like all the proof and then go back to shoot another shot for that transition. And I think it works because it was in the dark, and that fan scene was probably going to be during like the day. At least that was the idea I had in my head, but I think it's fine the way it came out. I wouldn't change it now, but I really wanted to then, and I'm recording this at 10:30 in the morning, July 4th. So I still have probably 8 or 9 hours left that I could have used, but I never like to push the envelope when it comes to submission, especially when a film gets away from you a little bit like this one did. I think I said this, well, no, I talked about it a lot in the Troika Protocol and on the World of Brick Films podcast with William and Penta. I did not intend for the Troika Protocol to be 4 minutes, 20 seconds, and I certainly did not expect total runtime of Recompense to be 8 minutes, 40 seconds. So as the film kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, I was like, okay, I definitely have to cut instead of continuing to add more scenes. And we didn't really add more scenes, which is actually a good segue into this. The after credit scene was basically all Justin's idea. He was like, we should do an end credit scene, because I had talked to him earlier in the week about should Eric Westhouse know who Jack is prior to meeting Allison in his house, or finding Allison in his house, I should say. And he was like, oh, we could do a scene where the assassin throws a photo of Jack on Eric's desks, and he kind of gets an idea of who that is. But then I was like, well, okay, it might be hard to print out a small enough picture onto a stud that didn't look terrible So what if we do like a phone call instead, and the assassin is tracking Allison at the end, and we give Allison's name to Eric. And again, props to Justin for selling the ending with his voice work. So yeah, that was done on July 3rd in the evening. Like all of that was shot and edited and done in the final couple hours of working on it and putting it all together. But it really ties it all together, even though it's after the credits. But huge shout out to Justin for coming up with the initial vision and helping me work through it. But yeah, that's basically all of the scenes that I wanted to talk about. Scene 2, scene 3, the assassination scene, pretty much your run of the mill in the city at night, guy in the alley, you get killed. Like, nothing insane there as far as inspiration from any film or specific thing that I wanted to do. But yeah.
Nervous system and suffocates the crew in their suits, then wipes their data, so if captured, their work can't be stolen.
That's extreme. Who signed off on this?
Eric Westhouse, VP of Asset Management.
Did you hear something? What?
Gotcha.
It would not be a proper behind the scenes video of a Brick film without thanking Jay Silver so much for playing Jack, a pro, for doing this for so many years. I'm pretty sure he single-handedly has carried the Brick film community the last, many years. Every time it's a THAC or a Brawl summer contest, there aren't a lot of things that are guarantees in life, but it's death, taxes, and Jay Silver voicing in at least 30 Brick films a year and doing a banger of a job every time. No matter the script, whether it's good or bad, Jay delivers. So thank you so much, Jay Silver. I really appreciate it. You played Jack extremely well, and I am very thrilled, very honored to have been able to work with you. It was on my bucket list of things to do, so now I can cross that off my list. But thank you again, Jay. I appreciate it.
Hello, everybody. My name is Justin Rivera. I was the voice of Eric and the assassin on the Troika Recompense. I also was the voice director / casting director for the project, and it was pretty fantastic to get to do, considering that the last time I did anything like this is 14 years ago as of this month, for an old short called Headspin and one of our Star Wars Christmas specials.
What the how are you doing that?
Doing what?
That head thingy spinny thing.
Oh, you mean this?
This was a fantastic opportunity to get to see all of my friends get to enjoy themselves and embrace themselves in unique ways. Jacob West, Jordan West, Stuart Knox, myself, and my wife, Gabriella Rivera, they had never done anything like this. All 4 of them were brand new to doing any kind of voiceover, voice acting, anything of that nature. My wife obviously plays with Legos like I do, because who doesn't? But yeah, this was great. So for myself, getting into the role of Eric was kind of neat, because I do have a very weird voice where I am both high pitch regularly but low pitch regularly at the same time. Depending on what I'm saying or doing, my voice drops or goes really, really high if I'm excited. So kind of fine tuning it when Austin messaged me and said that he wanted to do this. I was like, great. He sent me the script. There were a bunch of grammatical errors, but you know what? It happens. We love them. grammar sucks. Stay in school, kids. But yeah, so we went through and kind of looked at it, and I asked him, I was like, who did you have in mind for me to play? Because I resonate hard with the bad guy. And he was like, I haven't picked anybody. So if you want the bad guy, send some lines for him and let's see what can be done. And, you know, getting into that role and being able to, you know, just deepen and feel evil, embrace my inner Vader, my inner Palpatine, this ruthless CEO who cares not for anybody else but himself, and wants to protect his asset and Troika's assets, was fantastic. Getting to be a bad guy, because we're all trying to be the quote unquote good guys in our lives, and to hell with that. Bad guy all the way. So being able to basically tell this lady who was my wife to shove it, you know, a company's trying to succeed, and you know, I don't know what kind of censorship happens in this, but fuck everybody else essentially. You know, Troika's at 80% shares, so go screw yourself. I like money. That was fantastic. And then, you know, being the assassin, I'm a big Resident Evil fan, so there is nothing better than the what are you buying? What are you selling? Of the merchant. You know, he's a fantastic guy. So I embrace that for the gotcha. And just, you know, rolled into that, and I kept playing it, and I would say it before I would do his lines for the post-credit scenes and everything. And same thing with Eric. I would listen to his roles as I was going through, and just kind of sitting back in my chair, sitting low, feeling dark, mysterious, evil. You know, we discussed him being kind of a laid back, you know, whatever, in the scene when he's speaking with Miss Swan, and just going, you know, most interesting. Well, anyway, you know, whatever. And that didn't go. We kept him, you know, dark, weird, and just kind of to himself. We don't get a whole lot of backstory on his wife, which is whatever. She gets thrown out a window. It happens, you know. Should have had an air mattress down there. But yeah. And then for the assassin, getting to just kind of pop in and out and be like, get smoked. It was great. As for leaning into my wife, she hadn't done much. So you can kind of hear in that very first scene with her and Jack, where she's kind of just reading the lines. It took a lot to kind of break her out of that. And by the time she's like, you know, I'll bite, you know, what's the story? We had definitely worked through a little more, getting excited for it. We had talked through the lines together. We had kind of just gone through things and tried to get her as comfortable as possible being in this scene. Austin was great by sending us voice memos to kind of get in the feel of characters, sending us the behind the scenes kind of what I have already filmed, and letting us see kind of what the characters are going to be doing. So she was able to kind of get into the field that way. I think by the end, that final scene with her, you know, my love, my best friend, that she really got into that. I did unfortunately tell her that she needed to act as if I was back in the military, and she witnessed me dead on the floor, and do some really horrible ideas to get her in that flow. But you know, she's been with me through a ship fire that almost took my life once, so she learned. She's okay. As for Jacob getting to come and be the cop, Jacob is a Southern boy, so getting him to be a Northeastern New York, Boston man was kind of fun. He originally overdid the accent, which being from Jersey, I know how we can sound, but we got him to chill out a little bit. He had a lot of fun getting to do it, even though his lines were short. He's very excited and is looking forward to doing more. Stuart, very similarly, him being the source, That one was a little bit more tough because Austin had already filmed it and we didn't realize originally that he had the set still built. So we thought we had to squish these lines into the time we had. And especially the really, really long one where he talks about Troika's research station. One saying research station back to back quickly sucks. Research station is essentially how it feels. And we went through it probably 20 times to try to get it as short as possible. We also manipulated the script a little bit, shortened some things to keep it concise and focused, but not lose what was trying to get across. So that was definitely a neat one. But watching Stuart kind of get into the feel and like kind of having to lower his voice into a whisper, because similarly he has a very deep voice that comes across really, really nice, but booms on my poor little snowball mic. So we had to back the mic up a little bit, had to definitely get him to embrace the, hey, how are you doing? Which you probably couldn't hear me do that. But that was essentially my attempt at a whisper on this mic. And it was interesting. Ultimately, it came out very great. He did a fantastic job. Everybody did. And lastly, Jordan, we completely hit her in surprise with this. We did have somebody else that was supposed to voice Miss Swan. Unfortunately, there was just a little bit of difficulties. So, Jacob had said, hey, if you need Jordan to do it, she can. She came over and was a little stunned to be like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. But I think she delivered very well. I was forced to leave the room. So she stayed with Jacob through it, but Jacob definitely had all of the emotion needed for it. And then once she captured the lines the first time, she was a little more comfortable, so we did minor tweaking. I got to stay in the room this time. But yeah, she did fantastic. I know we're definitely excited to get to embrace more and more voice lines and get to do it. My house became a makeshift recording studio. I have a small desk with a snowball mic on an arm. That is what we're working with. So for all intents and purposes, it came out clear. Everyone sounded great. But yeah, I can confidently say getting back into this, getting my friends in it, getting to watch Austin's dream hit, and then get to post it for a contest that, who knows, we may place first, we may place 100 and whatever. But you know what? I'm rooting for the top, and I think it came out really well. He did an amazing job with lighting and scenery and all of that. And he completely solo built to the sets, did the minifigures, because we are very, very, very far from each other, about 10 hours away. So no one was going up there to help him build sets, unfortunately. Fortunately, all my people were really close, so they just had about an hour drive at most for some of them to get here. But yeah, definitely a fantastic experience getting to do that, especially going from what I'd said earlier, Headspin and the Christmas project to this. And I'm sure Austin will put some of those quick lines at the end of this so you can see just how awful my mic was back then and how awful I sounded in my preteen stages. And why he ever chose me to want to do this again after that is beyond me. But you know what? It happens. But yeah, fantastic experience. Some of the other videos that have been posted since have looked fantastic. Kudos to them. Somebody wrote a whole original score, which is gnarly to me. I just had to talk into a mic and, do a thing. So, for what it's worth, fantastic. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've missed here. We had a couple cool bloopers. One with my wife, which you guys saw in the beginning of this, where she botched her lines. And then I really was just struggling that night getting into that assassin mode. And so I was like, it's Mickey Mouse time. So I hope he really put an audio censor, not censor. What's the word I'm looking for? Audio disclaimer? Yeah, disclaimer. Sure, we'll go with disclaimer. An audio disclaimer ahead of that to just kind of say, hey, please lower your volume for 10 seconds because I'm about to blow your fucking eardrums out. But yeah, this was fantastic. I really appreciate all of you for watching the Troika Recompense, which might just be Recompense by itself. I could be wrong there. But thank you for watching that. Thank you for watching this. We really do appreciate it. And yeah, this is from Justin Rivera, Try Hard Trumpets, who used to be Lego Ninja 924 a very, very, very long time ago. We appreciate you all. Thank you again.
Alrighty, thank you, Justin. So I wanted to do this after I played the audio segment from Justin because I thought it was important that you guys hear that first. But oh my god, like I can't help but laugh because him, his wife, and his friends made this film not suck. Because what happens is I come up with these ideas for these super cinematic, somewhat emotional, slow burns or whatever. And what usually ends up happening is that the voice lines just don't match the animation, like in feel and vibe. And honestly, to Justin's credit, he did a phenomenal job getting everyone ready, running the lines. Like when we were talking about this, like as he was doing them, I kept thinking to myself, this motherfucker is going ham on this, and I fucking love it. Yeah, no, it was a huge blessing to have him be so involved, especially in the audio department and in thinking about various other parts of the film. And yeah, so I did put up the head spin and some of the Christmas special stuff, so you guys just heard that, and I could not be more grateful to everyone who helped me out, because man, it I remember like going through, I think it was scene 4, and then the last scene with Gabby's lines. I was like, oh my gosh, she's doing it. Like this is actually going to work, because I really wasn't sure. I had no idea, but I know Justin, so I'm like, he's not gonna fuck this up like in any way. This was so much fun. Again, Stuart being the source, comment on that real fast. Phenomenal job. Like I know they thought they had to kind of get everything condensed, but Stuart had the voice I wanted for the source. As soon as I heard it, I was like, this is it. Like this is it. And I am kind of sad that I killed off the character, because I definitely want to bring him back. I want to bring them all back, actually. I hope I don't get myself in that situation where I'm just using the same voice actors over and over and over again. But this cast, they might just have to appear a couple times, especially throughout this universe with Troika and everything. But yeah, so thankful. And Jordan, shout out to you coming off the bench and honestly delivering, I think, one of the best performances on short notice I have heard ever. Guys, if you don't go and watch the second scene in Eric's office, Jordan and Justin, like both of them together, that scene is made. Like, sure, animation, framing was cool, yada yada, but if you didn't have the way Justin delivered his lines as Eric, and if you didn't have Jordan playing, honestly, getting really into character, at least in audio form. Obviously I wasn't there for the actual recording of the lines, but the very ending line, like the last line, is literally my favorite one. The way the delivery was on that, so good. So good. So thank you, Jordan. And thank you, Jacob, for your sacrifice in getting rid of the Southern accent for the cop. Going to be a Northeast cop, I'm sure that was hard. So thank you for doing that. Maybe next time we'll let you do the Southern cop, because I'm gonna need all you guys back. So it is what it is. Hopefully it works out that way. But thank you, everyone. Thank you, Justin, Gabby, Stuart, Jordan, Jacob, all of you guys. Thank you so much for helping out on this. I really appreciate it.
So I just wanted to capture this. I still have like these old panels that my wife built for the Troca protocol. So I'm, for this flashback scene, I'm still just using these panels and keeping this small set for each one. So glad to get continued use out of set pieces from 6 months ago. Holy goodness. Guys, it is July 1st, 2026. And with the shot of the final flashback from the Sume Astra of 50 frames, that is a wrap. That is a wrap on all of the shots I wanted to film this week. Everything is done. 2 things are gonna happen here. Director's cut maybe, because I wanted to add a scene or two. And, not and or, but definitely this is happening. I'm going to spend a ton of time in post. I have basically 2.5 days of post and changes and everything. So I really intend to give the viewer a proper film. Not that I haven't in the past, but another one that is just maybe 3% better than my last film. And then, so on and so forth. The next one will be 3% better, yada, yada, yada. We get it. But anyway, this is crazy. I'm so happy that we are done filming on July 1st. This is a lot. So post-production time. Let's go. Post-production. Post-production. Am I gonna leave this in? Yeah, shit, why not? So I'm just messing around, putting everything together, see where I'm at. What? 6 minutes, 12 seconds before any intro, like titling, credits, Brawl logo. Okay, I'm serious. This is literally the same thing that happened with my back entry with the Troca protocol. And that was with credits. It was credits and intro. It was 4 minutes, 20 seconds, something like that. This is going to be basically a 7-minute film, and I've basically done it in, 4 days, basically? 3 days? Well, I gotta do all the post, but filming anyway. What do we think of the credit music, guys? Should we change it? So far, all right, that's enough. So 7:54 total runtime. Need to put in the CGI yet. Maybe if I have time, we do the after credit scene, and then the Brawl logo. That's got to go in here. So this is gonna be about 8 minutes 20 seconds probably. We've done it. I think we've done it. I was not going to let this film get disqualified because I didn't have proof of mod element. So I hope this category it's like I can't even talk. I hope this treasure chest of proof is it's good enough.